Hey everybody, it's Debbie O'Neill of Scrap Me Quick Designs and the Let's Learn Cricut Explore Facebook group, and I'm getting a lot of questions about how do you use etching cream and how do you make it work when you use vinyl for your stencils and so forth. So I wanted to talk to you guys about a new product that I'm trying out. It's called Etch All, and it is an etching cream that permanently etches detailed designs on large and small areas. It works on glass, mirrors, marbles, slate, and ceramic glazes. And you can also do decorative inking and painting after you etch on top of this product after you've rinsed it off, which is also a really cool thing. So I am going to be playing with that in a few future videos. The one today is going to be just simple steps on how to etch, and the Etch All company sent me some product to use, so I'm going to show you using some of the things that they've given me, but I'll also tell you a few things that you could use instead. But the etching cream is awesome. I've seen it in action. It gives beautiful results, and there's a couple of things I like about it over the other etching products on the market. Alright, I don't want to name any other brands, but you guys know you can look up different etching cream. The great thing about this is that it is non-hazardous and it has no odor. Okay, I know some of us are more sensitive to different smells when we're working with products like this, which are basically all kinds of chemicals, and I really like the fact that this is easy to use. It does an awesome job, and it's odorless, and I really appreciate that about it. And the other thing about this product is it is completely reusable, so you can keep adding it on to your project, and then we're going to let it set for 15 minutes, then we're going to go scrape off as much as we can, and you just put it right back in the bottle. So you're going to see me doing that. That's another thing, is even though this product you won't find in stores, you would have to order it online, and I will give you some information about ordering it. If you're a member of our Let's Learn Cricut Explore Facebook group right now, Etch All has given us a very generous 20% discount that you can get if you order their product online, and you would need to be a member of our group to get that information. Anyway, so what I wanted to show you guys was they sent me a, I think this is like a 4x4 piece of glass. I've moved it out of the view of the camera somewhat so it's not just completely shining in your faces, but I'm going to etch on mirror. I have not ever etched on mirror before. I have etched on glass a lot of times, and so I'm really curious to see how it does on the mirror, and it looks the same on the mirror as it would on a piece of glass, but I just thought this was kind of cool, something new to try. And so we have the Etch All etching cream, alright, and you're going to need a small sponge brush just to get it out of the jar and to glop it onto the project, and then you need some type of a little squeegee tool. Okay, now Etch All has these little tools, and they're the perfect size because we're going to be doing this across our project to pull the etching cream evenly across. That is one of the tips and secrets to getting a good application with this. And you also use this as a squeegee to get your stencil down, your vinyl stencil down onto your project. So you'll see me using that. If you don't have something like this, you can certainly use like an old gift card or a credit card or something is something else that I know that I've used in the past that might work. And if you have a spare Cricut scraper, or one of these scrapers like you can buy at the dollar store or the kitchen supply stores, this also would probably work. So that gives you a couple of ideas. Now you do need some type of a pick tool, because the best application that Etch All asks us to do is that we're going to pick the negative of our design out using a pick tool. All right, now this is very similar to what a paper piercer looks like. You guys can see that probably. Yeah, there you go. So it's similar to a paper piercer. If you don't have something like this, Etch does sell this on their site. And then of course you could always use, if you have your Cricut weeding tool, you can use this as well. So I'm going to try both and just determine which one I might like better. And and you'll need some type of a cloth that you'll be wiping your project with, because you want to make sure that it is lint free. So I've already wiped this off once, but I want to make sure that there is no finger marks on here or any, you know, debris. And I'm just using some soft cloths that I have. They don't have any chemical or anything on them. They're just soft cloths. You could use a paper towel or any type of a lint-free cloth. All right. I know some people use like old diapers and stuff, or dish towels sometimes can be used. The ones that I think they call flour sacks. Anyway, so that's what you're going to need to do the project. Now, the other thing that you want to make sure you have anytime you do any kind of etching, I have my pink craft mat is down here that I always have on top of my table, but I also have my other craft mat, which is it's heat resistant and it cleans up, and it's the one that I do my inking on and painting and so forth, because all I have to do is wipe it off and everything comes right off of it. And this way, if I happen to splash or anything, my etching cream, it's going to get on this mat and not on my pretty pink mat that I don't want to ruin. So you want to make sure you put something down. If you don't have one of these protective mats, you know, they sell them at the craft stores, they sell them online. I'll put a link into the video description, so you'll have a link for the Etch products and any of the other things that I recommend to you during the video. You'll have access to that. And then of course you're going to need some type of way to create a stencil. Alright, so we're going to be creating a stencil. This is a pre-made one. Etch sells some pre-made stencils for people that don't have electronic die cut machines like we do in our Let's Learn Cricut Explore group. So I am going to be using their stencil just because they were generous enough to send it to me. And so I'm going to use it because they've already got it sized to my particular project. Alright, but all they've done is they're using, and it is Oracle 651, okay, as their stencil material. So we all know that we can get Oracle 651. This is a permanent vinyl product, and this is what they recommend that they cut their stencils out of, that they use. So that's exactly what's on here. It's just yellow 651, and they've cut the stencil. Okay guys, so now that we've looked at that, we're using just an Oracle 651 vinyl as our stencil material, and then we have a regular paper transfer tape as our transfer material, which comes on sheets like this, and it just is it's opaque, so you can't see through it. You can see through it a little bit, okay? It's not clear. A lot of the transfer tape people use these days are clear, but the paper transfer tape works just as well. And so you would use a paper transfer tape, and you would cut out of your Oracle 651 vinyl, you would cut out whatever you want your image to be, okay? So you would pick whatever you want it to be and cut it just like you would any other vinyl project. And then what you want to do is that you will leave a section around your image that's going to be big enough to cover, or at least work across most of your project, so that you don't get etching cream on areas where you don't want them. Now, I have to apologize to you. I filmed the video and I got ready to go edit and realized that the little section where I added the vinyl onto my mirror piece, just disappeared off of my video. I don't know what happened. I don't know where it went. The rest of the video's there because I did it in segments. So I'm going to show you this step, but you'll have to forgive me. Instead of using the 4x4 mirrored tile that I started with, I'm going to show you how I apply it just to a 4x4 ceramic tile because I had one of these already. So it's the same process. You're going to do it exactly the same, except that I showed you on the mirror. So don't be confused, and I'm really sorry about this, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't have to wait till I could find a 4x4 mirrored tile to show you this. Now, I'm using a stencil that came from Etch It All, and they have these so that if you don't have a die cut machine, that you would still be able to do some etching. And so they have a lot of different ones. But since in the Let's Learn Cricut Explore Facebook group, we all have our Explore machines, right? Or if you have any other type of die cut machine, you know, you could cut your own die. Okay, you could cut your own stencil using whatever shape you want. So what we have here is, let me stick this back on here. So this would be your yellow, I'm just using yellow, but you could use any. This is your Oracle 651 that you will cut your stencil out of, just like you would any vinyl design, okay? You're going to set it on the vinyl setting, you're going to, you know, have it go through the machine, and it's going to cut out the shape of the image. What they've done here with the stencil, with this pre-cut stencils, is that they have already measured it so it fits on a 4x4 tile, okay, and they've already applied the transfer tape on top of it. Alright, so that's why mine looks like this. So this is how they recommend that we do it though. Instead of, when we do vinyl work, we take the vinyl off, you know, our mat, and then we trim it a little bit, and then we remove or weed away the part that we don't want, and then we use our transfer tape to pick up the part we do want. When you do etching, the Etch It All people recommend that the best way to do it is to go ahead and cut out your image onto your vinyl, okay, and then put your transfer tape on top of that, and then apply this to your whole project. And then you will weed away the part that you want to leave as the negative that you're going to etch, okay? So what's going to happen here is that I'm going to peel back this waxy lining that's on the vinyl, right? I'm going to peel that back, and as I do that, I'm going to lay this onto my project, and I'm going to use my little squeegee tool, whichever thing you're using, and I'm going to push that down onto my project. Okay, so now I have my squeegee tool helping me make sure that I get that down there really good. Okay, and then I'm going to keep this piece for a minute, and then I'm going to peel up the transfer tape. Okay, and mine's going to be off just a little bit because I'm reusing this because I had to go back and redo the video a little bit, but you'll see what's going on here. Okay, so you're going to take your transfer tape off. Then you're going to have your image on whatever project it is that you're putting it on. Now's the part where you make this into a stencil. So you can use, like I mentioned earlier, you can use like a pick tool like this, or you can use a weeding tool. I'm going to use my weeding tool. And all I'm going to do is lift away the pieces that I want to show my etched part, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just going to stick this off over here off to the side. And I'm going to go in here and peel this up, and you start seeing the shape of the hummingbird coming up here. Okay, so now I have the shape of the hummingbird. Now, this is the part that the etching cream's going to go on the center here, where you see the white now showing through, okay? And then you're going to have the vinyl still on here. The vinyl protects your surface from getting any of the excess etching cream on it, because you only want to etch the part that you would like to show as the etching, right? So in our mirror project, which we started with, You know, this was the mirror underneath. I'm showing you this white tile now because the video ate that part of it. Anyway, so now that we have this done, now what we need to do is we need to apply our etching cream to the project, and you're going to take the etching cream out, and then you can use a foam brush, you can use a I'm going to just use my spatula for the moment because it's what's here, and I'm going to lay this on top of my project, but I'm not putting it on the part where my images, okay? I'm setting it off to the side because I don't want to put it on there and let it sit there for very long in one big glob, because that's how you get streaks. Okay, so I'm going to make sure, before I spread that on there, I really want to make sure that my image is down really well, and so I'm going to lay that waxy side of my vinyl back on here, and I should have done this before I put the etching cream on, but anyway, I just want to make sure all those edges are down really well. Okay, so you want to make sure you've done that. Now that I've got the etching cream on here, all I'm going to do is take my little squeegee tool and I'm going to pull it across it. Okay, and I want to do it as evenly as possible. Okay, and I'm just going to use this. Now I want to keep this on here really thick. Okay, I'm not scraping it on here. I'm leaving it, it's very thick. It's like, if you can see that, like I'll show it up on the camera. See, it's really super thick. So don't scrape it so that you start seeing your image. You want to go ahead and leave it on there really thick. Now what's going to happen is we need to wait 15 minutes for this part to be, for it to work its magic. And then I will be back to show you the next step, which is taking the cream off and putting it back in the jar, because remember, it's reusable. Okay, and we're back. It's been 15 minutes, and now I'm going to scrape off the excess Etch-It-All cream and put it back in the bottle, and then go wash my image off. I'm so excited to see this. Alright, so I'm just going to scrape off the excess and pour it right into the bottle. Alright, now they recommend you use a little squeegee to do that, so that is what I'm doing, and that will take a few minutes to get it all up, but it's just as easy as this. You're just going to scrape that up and put it back into your bottle. Okay. Ooh, I can already see how pretty it looks. Okay. This is the tricky part, right? Getting that last little bit up. Okay. I'm trying to get all of it up. Bear with me for a second while I get it all up. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is, now that I've got it scraped back into the jar, I'm going to take this to the sink and go rinse it off. I'm not bringing my camera in there. I think you guys know how to turn the sink on and run some water. Now what I do want to mention to you though is that they are very specific about not having, not using it in a porcelain sink, just straight on. So I have a stainless steel sink, so I'm not going to worry about it. But when you work with this and you're working with porcelain sinks, and it's the same for any of the etching products, it can stain your porcelain sink. So what you have to do with that is you have to flush it with water, flush your sink with a lot of water first, and then start rinsing your etching cream off. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got most of that off, so there's not a lot of excess product here. And I'm going to hold this up so you guys can see it. Okay, so there's not a lot of excess product. I've wiped almost all of it off, and now I'm going to take this to the sink, and I will be back in a minute. Okay, peeps, I'm back, and as you can see here, I have removed the stencil. This is what the stencil was, right? So I rinsed this in warm water, is what they recommend. Rinsed it in warm water at my kitchen sink, and then I slowly peeled this off and made sure I got it off well, and then I went ahead and rinsed the entire surface. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that I got it off of this piece, so I rinsed it first just real quick in the sink, and then I peeled this off, and then I rinsed the entire surface. Okay, now once that we have this done, now this may stay sticky enough that I could use it maybe one more time. It would be kind of iffy if it would stay sticky enough. It just depends upon how much sticky is left on here. If there's enough that I think I could reuse it. Most of the time though, with the stencil material, you're not going to reuse it. So I just want to wipe this off. I'm just getting all the fingerprints off of it. Okay. Oh, got vinyl stuck on me. Okay. So now you can see, I'll hold that up to the camera, and hopefully now you can see my ceiling. Okay, because it's a mirror, it's harder to tell, right? Okay, but you can see how nice and clean, and what a beautiful, yeah, if I hold it at an angle, maybe you can see it better. Okay, it is just a beautiful, completely gorgeous etched image here, even on the little points in here where there was some design cut out here along the, even the ruffles around the edge of the feathers, the wings for this hummingbird design that I did, and that is just a perfect etch on here. I'm really happy with this. It is beautiful. Now these are permanent etched. Once it's etched on here, you cannot take it off. Okay, if you haven't used etching cream before, etching is permanent, so don't ever put it on anything that you don't want it to stay on there, because you can never remove it. Okay, it is there for life. So that was a pretty successful project. I hope you guys will take a chance and use some of the Etch It All etching cream. I liked it because in a couple of the others that I've tried, they smell really bad, and I just don't like using them, and so I don't do as much etching as I would like to, because I just don't like dealing with the smell, and it's just a harder product to work with. So anyway, so hopefully you got some tips from me on doing the etching. Like I said, in our Let's Learn Cricut Explore Facebook group, the Etch All company has shared with us a special 20% discount coupon just for our group members. So if you're not a group member and you're watching this video and you would like to get the coupon, come on over to our group and ask to join, and we'll help direct you to where the coupon is for this. Actually have some really cool things. They have a product, it's a resist gel. Okay, and a resist is kind of like if you've done resist inking, where you put down a surface and then you etch over that. I mean, you would ink over that, and then you would, that resist would not pick up the ink, and then you would wipe it off and you'd see the resist area. It's kind of the same thing. It's a gel used to prevent etching on glass, mirror, ceramic, whatever. So you could really create your own designs and do your own swirls, or maybe write someone's name on something. There's lots of other things on their site as well, and I will be doing some more demos on some other things you can do with etching. And I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will talk to you guys later, and I cannot wait to see the projects that you etch.